Good morning. How are you doing? Happy New Year. For those of you who are joining me today, I am really excited to come to you today and talk to you about how to get your social media content plan in place for the next 3 months. I'm going to be working on this with you today for the next half hour or so. And if you're watching this in replay, definitely let. And as I talk, it's replaying in my ear. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to mute. You have got to love technical problems in the first part of the year. Um, hey, I don't feel bad. The entire airport system shut down yesterday because of one glitch, one computer glitch. Yeah, so it was repeating. I think I had YouTube open in a different tab. So it's not anymore. So anyway, I'm going to be talking to you about how to put together your social media strategy plan for the next 3 months. I think one of the hardest things about being consistent on social media is just having a plan in place. Like there's this whole, struggling to keep up, like making a new plan, doing all that stuff. So I'm going to share my plan with you. And if you follow this, and lots of people have, you're going to really, really have it a lot easier. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about also, and I think it's in wherever you're watching this, I don't know, tell me where you're watching this. First of all, just leave me a comment. Let me know you're here. And then secondly, I have put a link to the content generator that I have where it's a spreadsheet that you can use to plan out your own pathway. So if you have that generator, that would probably be helpful for you. I will in a minute put it into the comments again. But if you can't find it, let me know too, and I'll make sure you get it. So the content generator is really just a process that I go through every 3 months or so to make sure that I have enough content in my pipeline to be able to make it through that next 3 months and not be scrambling all the time to figure out what I'm going to be talking about, why I'm going to be talking about it. And it's very strategic. It's not about, just coming up with content for content's sake. I know that can be fun too, having some fun with content, but what is the purpose of that? So that is what I'm going to go over with you today. I am going to really quickly share my screen with you so that you can see my very mini presentation I put together. It's just 3 slides, not a very big presentation, but it'll help us keep on track. So let me pull this up real quick for you. And I will definitely be sharing this with you. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share the screen, and here we go. So, really, in the end of the day, I call it um, the cornerstone generator, because you want to have content that is the cornerstone of you. Where's this making forever? Slow today, guys. Everything's slow on the internet. So, step one is really to pick your promotion day. So, what day are you going to be um, um, posting on social media? And so I come from a point of a one piece of content thing every week, because I'm running an entire agency. I have employees. I have all the things that go with that. And so I don't have time to pretty much, create a piece of content for every single day of the week. As far as like a new piece of content. So I'll pick a promo day, and that's today. That's right now. That's what I'm doing right now. And what I do there is I do a live stream. So that's my choice. You could choose a blog post, you could choose a bunch of things, and we'll talk about what that is in a minute. And then you want to choose your platforms. That's step two. What are your main platforms? There are so many social media platforms. And I know it feels like really hard to stay consistent across all of them. So my recommendation is to pick one and a backup. So I like to have two that I'm working on, because as you know, with social media platforms, things can change in an instant. Somebody can come buy you for $44 billion and, things could change. So you want to make sure that you are having that backup platform. So, your main platform may be LinkedIn, and your other platform may be Facebook, or your main platform may be, Instagram, and your secondary platform may be something like TikTok. Anyway, you've got to decide what those are for yourself, because you can have. I'm not saying don't have profiles on all the different platforms. In fact, I say, please do, grab your name because somebody else will if you don't. But don't think of it as your primary platform. And in a minute, I'll tell you why that matters. So you're going to put a piece of content out. I like using the video because I can then chop it up. I can turn it into a blog post. I can turn it into shorts. I can turn on YouTube. I can turn it into many pieces of content. And so I like having one piece of content to cut up. That is really going to matter for you. Not everybody wants to jump on a live stream. I totally get that. You may be much more produced. You may want to put together videos. Those take more time. So you're going to have to think about batching them and putting them together. So really, that one piece of content per week has really worked extremely well for us and at Zoetica and for me in my agency. And so I would recommend that you do that. And I try to do that for our clients too. We have a main piece of content or a focus for them for each week. And then we build around that so that we can drive traffic, so we can get people to take action. There's a lot of things that have to happen whenever you're using social media for business. And so if you're using social media for business, you want to make sure that you have that content. And then we can bank that content. I'm going to show you in a minute how this all looks. Sounds very confusing right now, I know, but step 3 is to create your content themes. That's really where it becomes even more important. I hinted at that where I said we have a theme for our clients, but you may want to have an overarching theme for your channel. So for us, it's clarity, which is all about strategy. It's connection, which is all about building connections and communities online. It's creating content, which we're talking about today. It's calibrating, which is really around measuring social media effectiveness and also making changes, small tweaks in order to make things go better. And then, of course, business and mindset. I talk about business, mindset, leadership kinds of concepts as well. So those are my main categories. And all of my content maps back to one of these categories. And we have it all organized in the back end. I'll show you in a minute sort of how we do that. And then on step 4, we brainstorm content. So that's really where you start to brainstorm what you're going to talk about, what you're going to have. So see, you have a lot of these other steps first. You have to pick your strategy and then you can put together the content. All right. So that being said, I'm going to really quickly switch on here and tell you about the next thing, which is really choosing your platforms. So again, I told you I like video. You may want short form video, live stream video, podcasts, blog posts, newsletters, other kinds of things. You can use a newsletter and then take that and turn it into your social media content. It's kind of an interesting idea. And definitely now that LinkedIn has newsletters and there's many other newsletters, but you do need some public facing information so you can grow your audience. You don't want your audience to be the same forever. Because people lose interest, they move to different jobs. It's just natural. People will lose interest and gain interest in what you do. So you want to make sure you're connecting on that front. So tell me if you're watching, leave a little quick comment about what you do. Are you doing weekly videos? Are you doing weekly podcasts, newsletters, blog posts? Tell me, I want to know kind of who's doing what. So I can kind of talk to you for that specifically, but you want to choose that. And if you say, hey, I can't do it weekly, I can only do it every other week, then fine. I can only do it once a month, then fine. It's maybe not going to be as quick, but or effective as that way. You may not grow as fast as you want, but if that's all you can do and be consistent, then being consistent is more important than being perfect. Okay. So that's the other thing. Perfect is the enemy of done. That is one of my favorite. Okay. Kim says, okay. Hi. Hey, Kim, how are you doing? Weekly videos, news, and shorts. Beautiful. Awesome. I like that. Awesome. Terry is saying that podcast 2 times a month, all social media weekly, if not more. Beautiful. Okay, great. And are you connecting what you're talking about on your podcast with what you're doing on social media? That's another thing I want to talk about. Not promoting the podcast per se, but using that content over and over. That's one of the quick tips that I'm going to give you that really helps. Awesome. Terry says yes, she is. Okay, good. That's good. Awesome. All right. So that being said, I want to move on to the next one, which I told you, step 2 was all about, let me grab it real quick because I want to pull this up. I want to pull up the blueprint so that we can look at that. So step 2 then becomes, and I'll make this bigger so you can see it, really all about choosing I would love to know if you have you category strategy. If you are a blogger or have ever been a blogger, categories, there are categories that on blogs that help you to become an expert in the eyes of Google. So one of the things that we talk about when we talk about search engine optimization strategy is, how do people find you? What is it that you have to bring to the table that people can find? And so one of the things that we want to talk about right now is your overarching theme or focus. And that's really what you're going to talk about the most on your company social media platforms. I told you what mine were. I have the 4 C's. And I've made it into a 4C method, that I talk through, and I've got an entire course built on that 4C method. Like, how do you do each one? Right now it's not for sale, but I've taught that course many times. And really what you do is you start from each step to build upon it. So what is it, your secret sauce? And I would think that that's what you need to turn into your categories and your overarching theme. And so for me, that's all about business and social media. How do you connect business with your social media activities, right? And so that's really what we're going to talk about, marketing for B2B. You may be marketing for B2B businesses. You may be somebody who talks about healthcare. You may be somebody who talks about all kinds of different topics. I'd love to know what your topic is. That would be awesome if you tell me what your topic is. But what is your overarching topic that you talk about all the time? It doesn't mean it's the only thing you can talk about, but what is the thing that you're known for? That would be your overarching theme or focus. And then under that, you would have your categories. Okay. So I talked about that in a minute already. This is like taking its sweet time today. I love today. My computer's like, it's 2023. Let's wake up. Okay, so choose broad categories that you plan to cover that kind of lift up underneath your overarching topic, right? So those are 5 to 7 categories of content. You don't really want to go more than that. 3 to 4, 5, that kind of area is a lot easier for people to understand who you are and what you do. So raise your hand if you um, connect with people all the time on the internet and you literally have no idea what they do. Like, you really don't know what they do. Like, you like them, maybe you even maybe like their content, but you're not necessarily sure what they do. That's really why you want to do this, because it's going to dial people into what you do, what it is that you do and what you bring and what you offer, right? And so this is really why the categories under the theme are so, so important. And also the way that search engine optimizations can find you as well. So I have 7 ideas here. And I just have this worksheet that I give out when I do the Instant Authority workshop. I do a workshop. I'm doing this tomorrow, actually live, and I'll give them this as a work thing. So we're going to work through each one of these tomorrow, live and in person in Houston. So if you're in Houston, social media breakfast, we're going to be doing this, like actually sitting down and doing all this work. But for you, I'd like you just to jot it down and then do that work for yourself. But honestly, it should only take you a couple of hours to do this. The next is that once you have your categories, you want to take each one of your categories and brainstorm 7 to 10 highlight ideas for them. So one of the ways that I do this is I'll take category 1. Let's take clarity, for example. Clarity is all about strategy for me. And so what would be the 10 top tips that I would give people on the topic of social media strategy? And then I would write them down in these, what I call headlines things. So I have 5 here, but you could say the 5 top tips are, for strategy. Number 1, know your audience, right? Number 2, create content that your audience loves. Number 3, what would another be headline for strategy? You can even do, how do you do a deep dive on your audience? You can even go into these. So each one of these headlines, if I came up with 5 things for strategy, which I could quickly, if I sat down and stopped talking, I would come up with 5. And then even inside of that, I can even further subdivide those down. So those could become blog posts, social media hits. So I could take a blog post, which is 5 tips, and make 5 different social media posts on each tip, and then make another one on the 5 tips together. Does that make sense? I'm hoping I'm making sense here, but I'm thinking that that's really, you have no idea how many content ideas you can generate in just 2 hours. Literally something for 3 to 6 months. I mean, I've made 6 months worth of podcast ideas really in just a 2-hour session. So that's really what I would suggest. And so then that's category one, category two. So I want you to break each one of these down. Um, Somebody let me know if this is making sense to you. And if it's not, please let me know and I'll back up. But I have category four, category five. So what are your categories under your main topic? That's the big thing. Like, what's your categories under your main topic? I'm going to come in because just seeing this is probably not as useful anyway. What are those categories? And then under each category, I want you to come up with 5 headline ideas. So even if you only do that, like say, let's just say you're like me and you only have like say 5 categories. You have 5 categories, and then let's say you do 5 different ideas under each category. That's 25 main ideas that you can then turn into content. And if you're only doing one main content idea per week, that's going to be 25 weeks worth of content ideas. And that you can do very much in less than an hour. And then once you have those 25 content ideas, you need to put them into some kind of system and start to build them out. So I'm going to share with you my system and what we're doing with that. And once you have those content ideas in there, you can then build them out into all of the rest. So say I have a blog post with 5 ideas, like 5 ways that you can. Then inside of that, I will turn each one of those 5 ideas into a social media post as well. And that gives me 5 days worth of content to post. And then I can mix them all up. I don't have to post them all at once. I can drip them. So like say I do a blog post and it has 5 ideas. And then for the next 5 weeks, I have one thing for that blog post. And then let's say I have another one. And so over time, what you end up with is a huge library of evergreen types of posts that you can post again down the line. And it's interesting to me because a lot of people don't reuse their content because they think, oh, people have seen it. But in the course of the way that things go, even if you put the same exact piece of content out again, like say 6 to 8 months from now, people will not know that you did it. There'll be very few people that will remember that you did that. And so you want to definitely, kind of break yourself of that mindset. You can reuse content. And hey, you can even reuse content and remix it a little bit, like change it up just a tiny, tiny bit and repost it many, many months down the line, like put a different picture with it or do a different kind of a quote or whatever. It's really, really powerful to have these things on hand. So you're not having to create content over and over and over again, by the way. All right. So I'm going to pull up what we use. We use a tool called ClickUp. You do not have to use ClickUp specifically, but I do suggest you have a tool. Some people use Asana. Some people use something like Notion. I don't know. Tell me in the comments what you use. But you need to have some kind of a tool or a system. Again, I've given you a link to a content generator, which is a Google Sheet, right? Also a tool. You can use that. I used it for years. The only reason I use this is because honestly, I have a team and they are super awesome and they help me with all of this at this point. So this, for example, is I just opened this up for you, is a card on Asana. So the way Asana works, and I'll show you it, you can look at it in different views. It has cards that you can put all this information. So I've set this card up and I was just showing you, we ran this article late last year, Women Who Mean Business Award. And you can see that I have everything in here, including all of the conversations my team and I have had about this piece of content. It is now a blog post that looks like this. So I would grab this link, I bring it in here. I'd make sure that I have the blog link in here. And I'll put that here for now so that we can find it later. And then I'm going to close this out. So we've already done this piece of content. That's why I wanted to show you this. And this is a really cool, what they call a Kanban like screen. And what this is the stages. So we have upcoming ideas. We plan and record them. We do blog and email around them. We do a promo pack, which is really the social media around them. And then they end up here in the evergreen. I have a huge number of these and I could go down forever. I don't need to show you all of them, but they go on for a long time of evergreen posts that I can come back and grab, all searchable. I can find them. So I'm done with this. I can put this into evergreen now, just like that. So I just I just love having a tool like this. It's very easy to use. We can look at it in different formats. We don't have a calendar here because we do the actual social media posting calendar on a different one of these. We have different ones. I do have my own generator column for that. But if I have an idea, all I have to do here is come and say new task. And I just click on it and I can start typing my ideas here. And I also have, I don't know if you saw that, but like this is today, for example, what we're doing right now. And inside of here, you'll see that I have a brand origination. That was Smart Social Secrets, which is this live every week. And the category is create. Remember, I told you I have 4 categories. One is create. So it's create. And then the raw content is a live stream, which we're doing right now. So you are like seeing how I work this. And once it's done, I'll tag my team and let them know that it's done. The actual YouTube video link is already here and the promo copy. It will be turned into a blog post and put onto the site. And then we will turn these little pieces into all kinds of social media posts that we're going to use across multiple channels in my case. So it's really, really powerful. In fact, you can almost have more content that you can use sometimes when you get into these situations. So that is what we do. And I have like all of these different social media calendars and things like that we use. I love ClickUp for that reason. Asana has something similar. You can also look at this, and I don't know if I can do it easily. Let me see if I can. I might be able to. Yeah. So here's the social media calendar for what we're doing right now. And we take it, we put it into the calendar, and the calendar view is like this. So the cool thing about Asana, that's what I like about ClickUp, is I have different calendar views that we can use for it. And this is the wrong one. Yeah, I thought so because it's empty. This is full right now of stuff. We are actually in the middle of promotion, so I'm in the wrong one. But in the end of the day, my team is using that. So we have this level of sophistication. You do not have to. It can be easy as a spreadsheet, guys. It can be so easy as a spreadsheet, but I do love ClickUp for this reason. It's a very flexible tool. That what are you guys using? I would love to think for your organization, how you're organizing your different pieces. I would love to know what you're doing. Let me see. Let me go back here real quick so I know where we are at. I don't want to get lost into all of this. Okay, so that's creating your content themes and then brainstorming your content. So Trello, yeah. So yeah, I love that too. Yeah, Trello is a really another great one. So Clarissa, thank you for saying Trello, because Trello shows that same view that I just showed you, those different things, and you can drag things across. It does exactly the same thing. It's just a little simpler. It doesn't have all the different views and all the different stuff, but you can share it with people. So I love Trello too. Very, very good one. We actually use that for the gift of guidance for preparing and putting together the social media breakfast gift of guidance last month with the committee. So we had the gift of guidance and we had a lot of tasks that we needed to do to get done for that particular thing. And it was really, really helpful to have Trello on board for us to get that done. So yeah, I highly, highly recommend Trello as well. Thank you for reminding me of that. And so, yeah, I think just having those things in place, but the main thing is having your category set. Once you have your category set, it is so fast to get all of your content done. It seems like really simple, but it just makes it so much more streamlined. You understand? If I know, like, I can look and say, am I only doing create type of categories lately? Or, I can mix it up. I haven't done something calibrate in a while. Like, I need to really think about that. And I actually do. So I was looking at that the other day, and that's one of the 4 areas that I wasn't doing too much in. So that's ROI and measurement and that kind of stuff. So I need to do something, and I need to do a couple of things like that coming up. So it makes it really easy for me to sit down and say, what do I need to say about measurement right now in 2023? Like, how do people know that they're being great? I think I'm really into create right now because there's been a lot of new AI tools. And those kinds of like things are bothering people that are creatives like me and the people that follow me. So I've been talking a lot about that because it's about creating content. The way that you create content has really changed. And so, yeah, I feel like that's something that that I've been really focused on. You can actually go back and check out a lot of those in my YouTube playlist if you want to. But yeah, so, in understanding, like, where the holes are, like, what you're kind of, like, shying away from, why it just having an understanding of those categories will help you to know what you need to do next. And then all you have to do is sit down about every 3 months and brainstorm, 5 or 6 things for each of those categories. Does that make it seem a lot easier to you to get a handle on your content creation process? If you can just sit down and get those things done, let me know, yes, in the thing, or no, are you still totally confused? Let me know. I'd love to know. Say yes or no in the chat. So yeah, in the end of the day, I know you guys are on all different channels. I see people here from YouTube and people from Facebook. So I know we're on all different channels today. But yeah, let me know if this helps you to get your mind around how to create content a lot faster, easier, and have it in a format that you can access it. So having it in the spreadsheet, having it in the Trello board or wherever is really important. So if you need that spreadsheet, there's a link in this video right now. Just go up to the description and you will be able to download that content generator for yourself. And you can take that and like put it into Trello. It doesn't have to stay there, but it'll give you all the steps I just gave you in a little more detail and help you to think about it. I know sometimes just being told what to do on a live stream is a little harder than sitting down and thinking about it as you're sitting at your desk with your computer open. And if you're in Houston, come tomorrow at the social media breakfast. We're going to be doing this pretty much again, but in a very different way, in the sense that you're actually going to be doing the work. Like, I'm going to have everybody bring their laptop and you are going to actually get all of your content put together for the next 3 months at that particular event. And it's free. It's free as always. And we're having it at the Impact Hub downtown. So I would love to see some of you there in real life in the new year. And if you're not in Houston, then I'm sorry. But and on the other hand, you've got my content generator and it will walk you step by step through how to do that. So awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to let you add it and let me know if you have any questions. I will monitor this as we go, and let me know what you're thinking and what you're going to do for this new year. I'm really excited to see what everybody's up to. So, all right, talk to you soon and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Bye.